Someone said, "Dead Fred, go touch grass." So I decided to. This is the Ambernic RG476H. And as you can see, it has the first all-glass front for an Ambernic product, which is very glossy and reflective as I show here. But can this handheld be deemed the best that Ambernic has ever released? Let's dive in and find out as we explore the Ambernic RG476H.
What a remarkable find, the Ambernic RG476H.
Wow, okay, AI decided to make that a CRT. Look how thick that thing is. But CRT on that 4:3 screen would be kind of cool. Now that's a real score if you actually dig something like that up. But for real, today we're going to take a look at it. Now, I really love the 477M. It is almost the perfect handheld in many ways for retro gaming from Dreamcast, N64, and everything below because of that beautiful screen at 120 hertz 4:3 aspect ratio. However, there is a much more, power in that handheld. And do we really need that much power, especially if we're going to play some more upper higher end 4.3 content? Well, yes, there's plenty of content that PS2 or GameCube can look gorgeous at. Now, the Tiger 820, the T820 that we've seen quite a bit, we know its limitations. So it's not going to run all of the PS2 catalog. Games like Jack 3 or Hot Shots Golf 4A are not going to run worth a crap. So the real question is, who is this handheld for? So let's take a look and let's dive in, and I'll give you my opinion on the 476H, which I think is a wonderful handheld in many ways, but leaves some puzzling issues still. Anyways, remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our content. But let's get the box out and take a look at the box and go through the overview. So first I wanted to say that I actually ordered two of these at the same time whenever the orders went live. I ordered one from AliExpress, our partner, and the what's called the official Ambernic store at AliExpress. And then I ordered directly from the actual website Ambernic. Now, I ordered these within minutes of each other. As of the filming of this video, I do have the one that AliExpress that I purchased from, and I actually got it at a less cost than through Ambernic using coupons. So check my coupon codes out. I am still waiting the DMG colorway that I ordered from, or retro gray that they're calling it, from Ambernic directly. But I just wanted to kind of just update that and point that as sort of an experiment to kind of see. Now, you need to understand that sometimes I've heard that Ambernic will only offer warranty if it's directly bought through them and not through their official store on AliExpress. So keep that in mind. But I thought that was interesting. Anyways, we have a lovely box. The box here is really nice. We've got the Ambernic logo on the front. It's textured. We have this sort of two-tone thing going on. I don't know if it's supposed to indicate two of the colors or maybe the paper layer on top of it when it ships and it's halfway off, but pretty neat. The RG476H. Looking around the side, we do have the colors. We do have black, retro gray, and the indigo. Indigo is the one we have here today. There's not much else on the other side, just some made in China stuff. And then on the bottom, there's nothing. So let's open up the box because lately they've had some really impressive packaging. Opening the box here, and we get a nice little cover on it. Let's get the handheld out of the way though. I like this little foam cover. I think it looks nice and everything. And then let's take this little pocket out and we have just our manual. Now, I used to like the manuals that were sort of in the gray and red, pink color. These are just, this one's just a little basic, but that's okay. It gets the job done. We are in both Chinese and English, and it's not very big, but it does have some information here. This is Android. I think maybe that's another thing. Manuals are not as important with Android. We also have this little box here. Now, with the RG477M, we actually got some extra cap sticks. So I wonder if we're going to have any in here. So let's open up and see. And Nope. Looks like all we just have our USB cord. So unlike the 477M where they gave us those extra stick caps, which was nice, we're getting just a USB here. So there's nothing else under here, no screen protector, nothing, but let's get this put back in and let's get the handheld taken out and let's start to take a look at it and see how it differs from the 477M. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, AliExpress. We got the coolest thing from AliExpress. Now, if you're like me, sometimes you love a handheld, but you just find the sticks to be just too tiny, like these tiny little sticks that came with the 476H, and you really want something bigger. Well, friends, I've got a solution here thanks to our friends at AliExpress. We want to check out the Odin big caps here. So as you can see, we just got these in, and these caps fit any of the Odin Retroid style handhelds. Now, there are some different ones out there with removable caps, like some of the Ioneos that may not fit these, but if your handheld does fit these, you can see that these are beautiful, beautiful little sticks that attach to it using the same format, and they're big. They come in 3 different colors as I show you here on the 476H here. You can see now we have nice big sticks in the gray colorway that matches here. And the best part is you get 2 sets when you purchase these. Hit the link in the description and use our coupon codes to save more. We want to thank AliExpress for sending over these Odin big joystick caps. Again, check out the link. Back to the show. All right, first out of the box. Now, I know a lot of you, or some of you, actually, I don't know if it's half or what. I mean, leave me a comment. But some people don't like the glass trend. And this thing, as I showed in the beginning of the video, is quite reflective. I personally like it. I think it gives it a premium touch, especially the satisfaction of taking, a rag here and cleaning it off and just getting it that nice polished shiny look. It looks fantastic. They really did a good job. Now on the Indigo one, there is a little bit of concern about the bezel, the difference between the black, which blends in, and the gray, which I don't have in hand yet. But I just think that this looks good. Now, this is the 3rd time I've been able to see this screen, so I've become fairly familiar with it. If you don't know, Ambernick invested a lot of money with a company that makes screens and got them to make this screen specifically for them. This is not a repurposed screen that comes from a phone. This is a custom-made 4.7-inch, 120 hertz, 4:3 aspect ratio screen, and it is gorgeous. It's just stunningly gorgeous. So, but as always, we'll try the buttons out. And yeah, they're the same buttons that we saw on the 477M, that we've seen on countless ones. The buttons are great. They've got good travel distance. They feel great. They're nice and polished. Some may not like the Skittles look on it. I think it looks good. Moving over to the D-pad, and we just have that really satisfying D-pad. Now, the 406H was one of my favorites, and I called it the best Ambernick handheld up to date. So a little part of me is sad that we don't have that awesome Sega style D-pad on here. I kind of wish we had it on here. In fact, some people have mentioned how they wish that maybe the stick had been on the top. I don't know. I'm okay with it on the bottom, the 2 on the bottom like this. But while I like this D-pad quite a bit, I kind of wish we had the D-pad from the 406H. And this is the start of what I said is a little bit puzzling about this. It's as if Ambernick purposely withholds or leaves some features off or changes them slightly just to throw the thing off. I mean, the 406H was in a great direction. We could have left everything in the same sort of position with the same type of equipment and just thrown a Dimensity 8300 in it, and oh my gosh, we would have been happy. Well, guess what? They'll probably do that. They'll probably do that later, but they wanted to make more sales. Now they have to reinvest. This is a very expensive screen. moving to the sticks, and as I mentioned, these are the sticks that I got from Ali. Check the link in the description. They're much better. So the original sticks are fine. They're a little small for my taste. I am very happy that they're the sticks that you can remove. I hope Anbernic never goes back to the Switch style sticks. Let's stay with these types, especially the ones that are compatible with Retroid and Odin. So the sticks are fine, the buttons are fine, the hardware's fine. We've got the typical buttons on the bottom, looking around the unit, and there's nothing on the sides. And the bottom does have your SD port, and it does have your USB-C port, and then your headphone jack. I wish the USB-C port was centered. It's a little off to the right, but what can I say? The biggest difference between the 477M besides the processor in the metal is the shoulder buttons. We do have the stacked shoulder buttons with proper analog triggers. This is good for games that use it, especially racing games. Now, the power of the D820 T820 is good enough for many things like Dreamcast, N64. So yeah, these are very helpful. Now, while I like the pocketability of my 477M with the inline shoulders, I think it would have been good if these had been on the 477M. But here we go again, sort of nitpicking things that we like that Anbernic does between different handheld devices at different times, and we're all waiting for them to put them all together into one thing that we like. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a great handheld. The weight of this is a little bit less, and as I show you side by side with the 477M, it is very similar in shape. It's just a little bit thicker because of these shoulders, and but it's mostly the same. It's the same screen. It has a nice solid feel to it. It doesn't feel cheap. The plastic feels good. This is a fantastic handheld. There are so many things about this that say bye-bye 406H with the same CPU. This is now. In fact, if the 406H doesn't really drop in price significantly, this is just so much better in so many ways. The screen alone makes it better than the 406H, which is one of our favorites. Now, let's get this thing booted up and kind of talk about it. We know Android, we know the CPU, we know the limitations, and I'm going to kind of just do my overall impressions review of it and kind of tell you whether you should get it or not. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, AliExpress, and the AceGamer wireless controller. This is an amazing controller. It's a mini controller, but the really exciting thing here is that if you can see here on the screen, it has the ability to push down and hide the sticks. So if you want the sticks out or you want to make it more pocketable, you can simply press down and hold it down like this and then let go of the lever and it'll hold the stick down. You can do both sticks for that, making it very versatile. Besides that, this is a pretty good Bluetooth controller that has both X input and switch input as well. It's very light and small. It comes in two colors, black and white, and it's got really surprising good hardware build. These shoulder buttons are great. The D-pad is really nice. And of course, it has these awesome sticks. The buttons as well are nice, a little clicky, and it's very light and pocketable. Hit the link in the description if you want to pick one of these up. Again, this is a wireless controller, the Ace, and we want to thank AliExpress for sending this over for us to take a look at. But yeah, this is a great controller at a very good price. Back to the show. All right, so booting up, we have the familiar looking Android setup. When you first boot this thing in, it walks you through. One of the things that's great about Anbernic is that they have their software ecosystem for Android really good. They do give you a lot of pre-built emulators in this. There's no games stored in this, but you do have emulators set up in a nice way. This continues it. Everything we've seen from the T820 line with their software continues here on this big, beautiful new screen. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the fan on this thing. Now, the most notable thing about the 477M and its Dimensity 8300 chip was the loud fan, really loud. And this fan can get somewhat loud, but because that it's a lower powered handheld. We're not going to be pushing it really hard on things, or if you try, it's not going to work very well. The fan is not too loud, but if you put it on the strongest, you can hear the fan. It can become a bit of a distraction. It's not any louder than the fan we've heard on previous CPU handhelds with the CPU like the Cube or the 406H, but it definitely is a little bit loud. The software is great. We have the Anbernic AI. We have everything set up. We know Android, and you can get a good portion of PS2 to play on this adequately. Now, games like Jack 3 or Hot Shots Golf 4A are not going to run on this thing, and that's okay. So some people feel like it's not worthy of the PS2 label. I've seen some people just say that it's not good enough, but there's so many games on PS2. There's a huge catalog. You can definitely find something to play on this that runs pretty good at 1 to 1.25x for it. Other systems, the Nintendo Wii runs pretty good on this. GameCube runs fairly well on this. That's a great 4.3 use case for this. Dreamcast looks beautiful on this thing. It's just really amazing to play with. Now, overall, the differences between this and the 406H are the screen. That's the biggest difference. The D-pad is a little different, and it's less, it's a little bigger, more flat between that. Now, between the 477M, it's got metal on that. We've got a better processor. We've got inline shoulders, but the rest of it seems to be pretty much the same. The sound and speaker on this thing is pretty good. It's overall a really good handheld. It feels great in the hands. The buttons feel great. The screen is beautiful. The CPU is very well known, and it may disappoint somebody, but I think this thing can regularly be found at $130 to $150. If it stays at that $130 to $150 place, I think it's in a good place. Although the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro is appearing at that price, but it doesn't have this screen. And I'm telling you that this screen is reason enough. I fell in love with this screen with the RG slide. That was a little bit too heavy and bulky for some people. And then the 477M, again, is heavy and metal. This is for those that don't like heavy handhelds but want to try this screen. It's gorgeous. I highly recommend it. There's not very much to dislike about this handheld. It has 120 hertz refresh rate. That's another thing. The black frame insertion and the 120 hertz in older games looks great. It's better on the Dimensity 8300. It would be better if we had full shader support. I mean, because you had a better GPU on the 8300, but it's going to work good enough. You're going to see some really great stuff on here. Just don't expect the top of it. The truth is, the best handheld Anbernic has right now, as far as being able to do everything and build quality, is really, in my opinion, the 477M. I play it every day. I love that handheld. It's great. I wish we had the stacked shoulders on it with the analog triggers. Aside from that, it's just fantastic. I love it. But I know some people want to see this release again with the 8300 stick up top and possibly the Saturn Sega D-pad style. So I think if you get a hold of this, you're going to love it. There's a lot of competition. My God, there's so much competition, which is great for us. There's a lot of good handhelds coming. Will this really be a leap enough above a T620 or something else that's coming out? These handhelds, the Dimensity 7030 is about to come out. We're going to have a bunch of competition. It's hard to know. The 3577s are coming. So there's a lot more coming that's going to do it. But for right now, this is Anbernic's probably best for most people. I like the 477M better. Maybe a little different. I love metal. But for most people, this is a great buy. Well, remember to love your hugged ones and hug your loved ones, because tomorrow's never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. A lot of more good reviews coming up. Dead Fred out.